good morning or a very good afternoon for the people from the Netherlands, but I think most of you are here in Brazil. A very good morning to all of you and a very warm welcome to our very first CEO lunch talk of this year with a very impressive company. I'm very happy to welcome in this session SBM. My name is Peggy and I'm happy to see all of you. While still a few people are entering bit by bit this virtual meeting room, I just wanted to say that I hope you're all fine. Although we're in 2021, we're still in this corona crisis. So I hope that all of you are fine, are doing fine, and that everybody is well. Once again, very happy to have you here with the very first CEO talk at Dutcham of this year. Just a few practical things. When you're cut from the internet, when you lost the connection, don't worry, fica tranquila. Just double click again on the link and you will re-enter the meeting room again. And for the time, I would say just relax, sit back. It's Friday lunchtime, so heading bit by bit towards the weekend. And we have some nice entertainment for you. As I said, very happy and very proud to have a company that is very much Dutch, SBM, but that has been here for quite a while in Brazil. They went through very difficult times, but it's impressive to see how they fought back and how they are back to business now these days. Now, just to give you a little bit of a teaser, allow me to share with you some short video on the company to give you some insights, allowing in the meantime a few other people to join the meeting room.
The oceans, a vast resource, huge unlocked potential, energy for generations to come, a growing global population, increasing consumption, demand for safe, sustainable, affordable energy. We are offshore people and deep water experts. Energy is what we live for. Oceans are our expertise. Out there, relentlessly, committed, thriving on challenges, building on our experience, everything we've done. Implementing new ideas, creating new products, a mix of oil, gas, wind, wave, renewables. Playing an active role in solving the world's energy challenge, sharing our experience to make it happen. Optimizing, transforming, innovating, because we can, because we care. SBM Offshore. Energy committed.
But in the meantime, we have a big audience already waiting for the man that we have invited today with us, because you saw already the impressive company through the film, and we're very happy to have the big man behind this organization. May I welcome on stage Bruno Freitas.
Thanks for the introduction. Thanks for everything. Okay, and late down the line, whenever we discuss how it was actually a good example what you gave on the two videos with sound and without sound. But we'll come to that later.
Well, anyway, we had it right now. It took us a bit of more time, so we will go probably a little bit over time. Hey, but Bruno, very warm welcome. We know each other already within the advisory board. We met you already some while ago within the team at Dutcham. But for the people who don't know, who is Bruno? Tell me something about yourself.
Well, Peggy, I could start mentioning that, you know, I've been working in this industry for more than 20 years. Okay, I know that, you know, sets the pace on my age a little bit. But what I like to say is what I learned throughout the years, which is basically, okay, being a team player. All right. So Bruno, I can tell you, it's a team player, which I have the opportunity now to be at this company, SBM Offshore, okay, in Brazil. With all this, the experienced personnel that we have in here, you know, the marvelous person, the people that we've got, a very competent team of SBMers. That's how we call ourselves, okay? And so to me, it's an honor, okay? It's a privilege to be working at this company with this team, all right, that we have here, setting up the drive for what not only we've seen on the video, but for what we have also the legacy, what we've done in the past as well.
Yeah, well, a very proud country director at SBM, but beside being an SBMer, who is Bruno as a person,
I,
private
as a
side?
person, I can take private, and that's why I'm gonna come to that, the video thing, okay? Because I am a father of a 5-year-old, okay, kid. His name is Guilherme, proud father, I must say. Okay, married with Claudia. Okay, so family is something I treasure a lot, friends, and my hobby. Okay, it's photography and video editing. So there you go.
Wow,
You
we
already
can
know some.
we can cut the first part that went wrong without the sound. You can put it out for us. Hey, Bruno, SBM, Single Buoy Mooring, was founded in already in back in 65 in Schiedam in the Netherlands. Leader in the meantime, global leader when it comes down to floating prediction and mooring systems, what they call the FPSOs. For somebody who don't know anything about this industry, can you just tell us in a few simple words, what does that mean? What is the company doing exactly, Bruno?
And to answer that question, Peggy, I'd like really to put our company's vision that we've seen on the video, because we believed oceans will provide the world with safe, sustainable, and affordable energy for generations to come. All right. And what we do, we provide floating production solutions for the offshore energy sector. So throughout our main activities, they are design, supply, installation, operation of floating production, storage, and offshore floating vessels, what we call FPSOs, which is well known in the oil and gas, especially in Brazil, right? And looking forward, by using the DNA of the company, what SBM is aiming for is use a lot of technology and innovation that we have our hands on in order to find out the alternative sources of energy, such as gas, renewables. We're working on. We've seen on the video, the WEC, which is our wave energy. We also have the offshore wind, which are also working really hard on it. So we see a lot of potential in the ocean. That's why our vision, even though with the COVID and everything that happened, it's still coming strong. Okay,
Yeah.
to play the role that we need.
Yeah, very much into sustainability solutions. We will come back on that one a bit later on, Bruno. But it's a very big organization. I think it's about 4,500 employees worldwide. Brazil office, then we have to go back already a long time in history. I think it opened already in 2008, if I'm well informed. How important is Brazil? I mean, if you look at the lot of oceans, it's a very big coastline that we have here in Brazil. Does it mean that Brazil is a very important part of the group?
Indeed, Brazil is the main FPSO market in the world, and so it is the place to be. Whenever you think about offshore production, okay, Brazil comes to mind. You see the amount of projects that you have everywhere in the globe. Brazil has the biggest majority of it. I really like to point out what I talk to everyone is, even if we slice in half the amount of projects which are intended to be done in Brazil, Brazil is still, the key place, right? So that's just to put into perspective how Brazil is important to this industry. With all the new pre-salt fields and the higher demand on the years to come, okay, that's why Brazil is important. And half of the company fleet operating Brazilian water, 7 out of 14 FPSOs. I could start naming, Espírito Santo, Anchieta, Capixaba, Paraty, Cidade de Paraty, Ilhabela, Maricá, Saquarema. And the last 4 I mentioned, they are working on the pre-salt region. Our vessels, they answer for approximately more than 20% of the Brazilian oil production.
It's massive. Very important,
Yes.
very impressive. With how many people do you work here? How big is the organization, Bruno, here in Brazil?
As you said, across the globe, we got more than 4,500. Okay, in Brazil, we are close to 2,000 people. Almost 2,000 people.
Well, and I'm sure that they
Re-
all have
uh, No, I was just going to say, remembering that we're talking about this is offshore and onshore personnel in all projects as well.
Well, at least I know all the people that work onshore, and I can say they're a very dynamic team. From all the people I met at SBM, they have one thing in common: they're incredibly enthusiastic and incredibly driven. So I think they have that in common. How Dutch, by the way, is the company? Do you feel that you're a Dutch organization?
Indeed, because that's the origin of SBM. Okay, but when we look at SBM today, SBM is just so diverse, so global. Okay, because we've got office everywhere, Peggy. We've got office. I can start naming, quite a few in Angola, Equatorial Guinea, um, in United States, in Europe. Okay, we've got actually four offices in Europe. We've got in China, Singapore. So we're in India, all right, as well. So we're a worldwide company today, and we do follow what we learn from the Dutch origin, which is, attain to our values, going and strong with a strong drive to deliver what we need for our key clients.
Mm-hmm. So a little bit still this influence of going straight forward.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Good. Hey, Bruno, let's talk a bit very quickly about the darker times, let's say, of SBM, because we all know that SBM in Brazil, they went some few turbulent times right here in Brazil. We had a lawsuit with here on the local market, but that was closed in 2018. Since then, I think we can say that SBM is really fully back to business. I even read recently that you signed a new 25 years of contract with Petrobras. How amazing is this? How can you make this flip, so quickly? I mean, being destroyed completely here almost in Brazil and then fighting back so hard. What did it take to get back here?
Peggy, well, first, the small disclaimer, because for strategic reasons and respect to contracts, we're not able to comment anything related to ongoing projects or bid. But the question that you asked, okay, I'd like to highlight a point. Indeed, we're proud to say that SBM, is back in business with new projects and operations in Brazil, in countries not only in Brazil, but such as Guyana, for example. And we can affirm that as a company, we're working to provide the best service to the big players in the industry, okay, such as we all know Petrobras, just like I mentioned, and Exxon. And we have healthy and positive relationship with our clients. Now, with what happened, one thing I'd like to mention is we had to reinvent ourselves. Basically, we had to start and stop thinking, what can we innovate to get back in the game? So that shows the drive of our people, okay? It shows how we can tackle, okay, all difficulties and challenges, and indeed we managed to do that, because in all that downturn, we start implementing a lot of programs. One of them that I like to mention is the Fast Forward program. Basically, okay, is our MPF multi-purpose floater hull, which is instead of just being a concept, it's something actual that you can see, you can touch. It's we already seen on other projects, how viable, and that proved to be something to deliver a better value to our clients, and that has been seen by our clients. So with that innovation, with that implementation of technology, a new way of doing, whenever we were allowed to get back in the game, SBM was just, the choice for our clients,
But was it hard to regain this trust again? Is it difficult to regain this trust again from clients
Yes.
in the market?
Yes, because look, we have been working with Petrobras as an example for more than 20 years. Okay, and like I said, today we have 6 vessels over 7 vessels in Brazil. They are working for Petrobras, and we have the FPSO Sepetiba. Okay, yeah, it used to be called Metal 2 project under construction. We have the FPSO Almirante Tamandaré. That's the one you just mentioned. Okay, from the Búzios field. And in order for us to do that direct negotiation, okay, as it was done, and again, I'm just going to state what has been mentioned on press release, Petrobras was able to see that we were the company that at that point in time were able to deliver something of value to them. So to have a direct negotiation with Petrobras is something that gives us a lot of pride, because it shows not only to the market, but it shows to us, to all SBMers, that the work that we did in the past, it's paying off. that remember that when you face difficulties, you have first to react to them by saying what you did wrong, what can we do to change, and what can we do moving forward, to be as best as possible. And we've done that, and this is just we're just harvesting the fruits, I would say.
This is a bit also thanks to the Brazilian mentality, I think, because I know the Brazilians are never giving up, always continuing even after bad times. Is this thanks to this Brazilian mentality?
I think, like I said, well, I could mention, yeah, it's a bit about Brazilian, but when we look, across SBM, and I don't know if we're going to come to that, but we export talents in Brazil, for example. That means there are a lot of Brazilians working elsewhere, at SBM, across the globe. And but that mix of culture and the way that we work together, it's something that really called my attention. I remember that I am quite new at SBM as well. Okay, about to make 2 years old of being an SBMer. But from all this, even this small amount of time, I was able to see, how our team works, how we do all that, and it's a mix, I would say.
Yeah.
It's Brazilians and all SBMs together working to thrive and conquer that.
Yeah, I see, by the way, a question from somebody here. Somebody is asking what is the difference between doing business with Brazilian people and Dutch people. I don't know if you have an answer on that.
I had
What can they learn
we
from each
actually
other?
no, yeah, no. But we actually had a call at SBM. We have what we call two-way talk, which is basically, me and Mauricio, okay, the leadership of the company in Brazil. We provide a feedback in a way for employees to communicate, all SBMers to communicate with us, and asking questions. So we like to be transparent. And that question is good because just like we have expats over working in Brazil, and I just mentioned about Brazilians working elsewhere, we have the culture map from each nationality. So working with Brazilians, we tend to be, more passion. Not that Dutch are not, but you understand me, Peggy. You've been,
Absolutely, absolutely. And
you
I'm
know,
Belgian, I can
passionate.
admit.
Yeah. And passionate about some things, and that while the Dutch might be more direct, have a more direct approach, which I like it, by the way, and so we learn from each other, all right. And the key difference, I would say, is to learn where you are in this culture map bend. Okay, obviously you cannot put everyone into one place, but we've got our difference, but again, that difference has played it really good for how SBM is working out, and like I
Exactly.
just answered on the
Exactly.
projects.
Hey, you mentioned something about talents. I want to pitch a bit more on this topic. I mean, we know even though we have the Corona situation, I mean, there is still a hunt out there for talents, right? I mean, we're all looking for great talents, even in Corona times. How difficult is it to attract for SBM talented young people? I mean, is this industry also still sexy enough and attractive enough for youngsters?
Yeah, yes. And for that, let me divide that question in two answers. Our employees are the foundation of success of our company. Okay, so they're the ones that drive the company to the results, and that is always recognized by, as an example, our CEO Bruno Freitas in the management call and the town halls that we make. Their diverse skill represents an incomparable advantage to us, and that's why with this diverse team that we're able to export the talents in Brazil, like I said, the people which have been working at this company for quite some time, and at also at this industry. So now I'm tackling the answer from the people that used to work from a long time. Now for newcomers, for the new talents, the hunt for talent, continues, but we have seen the change, which means what are we doing in terms of sustainability? What are we doing in terms of the corporate guidance that we need to for the future? And again, that is something that we are working on. We are investing technology-wise, time-wise, capital-wise, in order to obtain, being attractive, being, like you said, a company needs to be sexy for these people, for them to say, yes, I want to go work for that company because it has the values that I carry, has what I'm aiming for the future for my career. So indeed, we are also, paying close attention to that.
Yeah, what you say indeed, I think now what people are looking much more not only into the results of a company, but also how the company reacts in terms of sustainability, how they do their corporate social pick up their corporate social responsibility, right? On this topic, by the way, I saw that your vision statement was quite an interesting one. Oceans will provide the oceans will provide the world with safe, sustainable, and affordable energy. How can I translate it? How concrete is that? How is SBM concretely adding to a more sustainable world?
On Peggy, when we talk about our FPSOs, for example, we are working on electrifying and some carbon footprint removal from our future projects, and that is applied by technology. So we already have some possibilities where we can decarbonize, okay, the production of FPSOs of the oil and gas that we need to make. All right. So that's just to tackle on the oil gas because, like I said, the demand is here. It's not a switch that you flip on and off, and you need 2021. You don't need that anymore. But we can find ways to make it better, and that's what we've been working on. And then we also have, like I said, the offshore wind, right? Because that's something that SBM is working on. We actually have a contract, signed with the French government in order to install in south of France, all right? Where our first project on that. We also have the wave energy converter, as I mentioned, which is has been in study for quite some time, and we already got it deployed, the prototype of it. So our vision is attached to that because we feel that not only on FPSOs but also on the offshore wind, on the different concepts like the wave energy converter, it's possible for us to achieve that. All right. And Peggy, before you go to the next question, just would like to come back because when we show all that, and then for coming back to the young talents to attract, young talents, because we've got internship programs and like energy builders and trainee programs where we've seen that thread, going forward, and all that we do and that we're working on, like I just explained now for the offshore wind and energy convert and emission zero program that we have for FPSOs, that's what calls attention to all this talent, to all these people, for them to realize that they want to work for a company which has this drive.
Yeah, exactly. I think in the meantime, your HR can be prepared already of having a lot of CVs coming after this interview, all people that are motivated to work for you. Hey, but if we look at the image of Brazil, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, we don't have such a good image from Brazil when it comes down to sustainability. In the outside world, everybody's looking down on Brazil. How do you see personally, the challenges as Brazilian and living here in Brazil? What do you think is the biggest challenge?
Well, Brazil is the real deal when you hear about the land of opportunities. Okay, the country has amazing natural resources. I mean, the coastline, the weather, sunshine all over the year, wind, ocean, all that we know. And the country learned to be sustainable, actually, because of if you look at how our grid of energy, okay, demand goes from the hydro dams that we have. Brazil has also, when it comes to that, I'm talking about sustainability. But indeed, we've got other things that we need to work out. But I also see those initiatives come from the corporate world. So companies have understood and they have embraced the concept of ESG, and this has become a value to them. So whole society, Peg, is changing. I think we're all paying more attention to the environment as we should. Okay, it's a process that goes along with the rest of the world, but it is modifying our culture. And again, I like to use that example. It's not something that you flip a switch, but we see the change coming, and especially from the new generation. Okay, which I mean, they really put a drive to that.
Yeah, I think not only SBM, but a lot of our Dutch companies are making really some difference here when it comes down to sustainability in Brazil. I think it's also a question of communication, right? I mean, unfortunately, only the negative news goes out. And I think we should stress a bit more on the positive things that happen here in Brazil, right? To change a bit the mindset of the world towards Brazil. Hey, I'm coming just one step back. We talked already a lot about people, but I know SBM is a very people-driven company. Women, it's something else. I mean, we have here big challenges. You know, at Dutcham we have an inclusion and diversity and inclusion committee. We just signed the WEP's ONU Mulheres, the women empowerment principles. How challenging is it for you as an organization in this industry to have this balance in terms of gender equality?
To answer that, well, first we need to accept, and historically, indeed, okay, it is a male industry, but again, we're changing it. We believe in diversity, okay, as a source of creativity and competitiveness. It's not about only nationality, but like you said, about diversity. What make me what makes me happy to answer that question, Peg, is just 2 days ago we had a very rich discussion, an internal event held by SBM called Lugar de Mulher, women's place. So we gathered different profiles of leadership to interns to offshore positions, all right, and all women were there to discuss their careers, challenge, diversity, experience, and this was broadcasted to all company. That is a concrete example what SBM is doing internally in order to focus on that and spread the message. Just like you mentioned just a while ago, you said communication. Maybe we need to work on that better. Okay, so this is something that we're empowering and we're doing even more internally. And the more we communicate that, the more people we get to know, people we get acknowledgement of that. So it is really important. Coming back
Exactly.
to this event, I stepped on this event without no expectation what to come. To me, it was like a surprise. What's going to be, and I must say that I was baffled. I was just surprised. It was an eye opener for me. Okay, sometimes you don't realize because you don't suffer, you don't see it, and it was a I mean, I was really touched by the event, and you bet that we're going to be doing more of that because the outcome of it was really really great within the company. Again,
Yes.
because we start communicating and spreading the message.
Exactly. Well, we as a Dutchman, we are continuing also to push on our on companies, Dutch companies, to communicate and to create more awareness. Going already, looking at the time already, more or less towards the end of this debate. I mean, we can't go around it. We're still in the same situation. We're still in this COVID situation. How badly was your company, Bruno, impacted by Corona?
Well, we have faced challenging times due to the pandemic, just like everyone else, Peggy. We had to move all our own onshore base team to work from home, just like every other company. Reinforce the sanitary policies on the offshore teams. Take care of our team is our priority. Like I said, it's one of our values, is care. So we implemented a global response that monitor the company operations in the world, includes monitoring crews, fleet, and manage all special situations. On board, we did the social distance and reinforcement of the rules of hygiene in the vessels, our entire fleet, and doing monitoring during the quarantine, 2 PCR tests and antigen tests before embarkation was done. And we maintain close contact with Brazilian authorities and our clients because we're taking care of our team. So we actually managed to keep working and taking care of our team. To us, it's a big win on what we achieved because our fleet, we still got, to everyone that's seen the results, the uptime of FPSO is still delivering with, the, I want to say gaha, the perseverance, which I seen in the chat, of our people, what's something, key for us to be achieving that.
Well, we talk about a lot of mental health now these days, Bruno. So, how do you tackle this? Because I mean, it's a hard time, right? We're in this situation for more than a year. How do you handle this with your people?
Becky, when I say that one of our values is care, it's not because it's just written on the wall and it's there, but it's because we like to take care of our personnel, of our SBMers. We have programs which have been implemented for trying to focus on the well-being, on mental health. We have places that our people they can call, they can obtain support on anything, being medical, being psychiatrists, being financial support, or indication or how to work out something else that sometimes it troubles us. So we provide all that. And again, coming back to the subject of myself, I mean, I faced that, last year. I mean, because of the stress, because of many things, sometimes we don't see that doesn't show. We like to, show the the position of being, strong and how we can do it, I ended up 3 days in a hospital. So that is a point of attention to us all, that we need to take care of ourselves, be a base for us to be able to drive to and work as a group as needed.
Exactly, especially also in positions like yours. I think, Bruno, it's a hard time as well, and we don't always have to be strong, or we don't always have to show ourselves too strong.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say that's exactly why I mentioned what happened to me, because it's good to set examples when it comes from the top. People see that you need to take care of yourself, of our health. That's what we do with all SBMers.
Yeah. Hey, Bruno, very last question, because then we have to round it, respecting the time. What advice would you give to the audience? I don't think we're out of this crisis yet, but maybe you can just also give a positive note and some advice to the people who are attending here today.
No, indeed. I think it's still a really situation where we face that we're going through, and it's important that everyone do our part. We have to protect ourselves. We have to protect the people that we love, respect the restriction measure, the policies. They all are made to keep us safe. So at SBM, health and safety are the number one, but I'm not talking about at SBM. Now I'm talking, nothing more is important. Not production, safety, lives are what matter. So this is what we stand for, and I firmly believe this is what everyone in this room, stands for as well, Peggy.
Exactly. Well, I think it's a very nice ending of this debate, Bruno. Allow me to thank you very much for having this conversation with me and with the Dutch business community here in Brazil. We had a very large audience, and I think that shows that people enjoy still the webinars that we are giving here. So I would say thank you very much for your contribution, and I would say to all of you, stay at home, follow us at Dutcham, stay at home, stay safe, and take care of each other and yourself in the first place.
Thank Peggy. It was my pleasure to be here, also with all the audience. Thanks much.
Have a good day, and also to the people that attended this event, thank you very much for attending. It's because of you that we organize all of these events, so please stay with us and follow us on social media. This video will also be posted afterwards on our YouTube channel, and we like if you like us, so go to the LinkedIn and give us your comments. Thank you very much for attending this event, and I wish you already a very, very good weekend, and stay safe. See you very soon. Ciao.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.